Hello and welcome to the Party Prelude Project. With you as always, I am your host and Game Master Quinn Wilson. Thank you so much for joining us this week as we delve into the final leg of Breath of Peircing Dusk's Prelude. We're going to go ahead and dive right in, jump right into that action. I hope that you enjoy listening.
Awesome. Is there anybody down walking around or
there are
below?
A couple of palace servants wearing kind of loose saris.
Okay. What would you say is like the general color of clothing that people wear here?
It's actually a pretty vibrant mix. A lot of it tends towards the cooler colors.
Okay.
Blues and greens, but there's a couple of really vibrant oranges as well as some purples and yellows.
Okay. Probably not a lot of black.
Not a whole heck of a lot of black, no.
Okay. I am going to see if I can snag up another one of those things in like a purple or something to kind of like throw over to look a little bit less standing out, not so much.
Like one of the tarps from something?
Yeah.
Okay, I can retroactively, I'm totally okay with you having done that.
Okay. If there's
This is Peedee's Ballywick.
Okay. Cool. Is the door into the actual like citadel open?
Yes.
Cool.
Like the main gate is closed and they are just expecting the guards to do their jobs basically.
Totally. All right. Well, Peedee's gonna stand up like very slowly and nonchalantly and kind of drop down to the main level.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of attempt to just walk in, acting like he is a servant or belongs there or has business there.
Okay, so disguise falls under the purview of larceny.
Okay.
So I'm going to say this is going to be a dexterity or wits plus larceny check.
Okay. Cool.
I feel like wits is actually probably most appropriate, so I'm
Probably
going to call it
fair.
wits plus larceny.
Sounds good. Yeah. That's fine. Oh, you know what? Let me spend two excellency on that.
Okay, and always give it a little bit of that description.
Yeah.
Those stunt dice.
So after he throws that fabric over himself, is there like what is on the ground around the citadel? Are there like slave quarters or like a kitchen? Or
There is like a slave quarters off in the corner, a servant's quarters as well. There is two separate establishments.
Okay.
As well as like a lot of it is a relatively lush garden that seems to be expensively maintained in the hot chaparral climate that you're in.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to pick a bunch of flowers out of the garden and kind of like bundle them up, make like a makeshift arrangement, and carry those in very like, this is what I'm doing. I'm carrying these flowers in. This is a big deal.
Awesome. I like that a lot, actually. Go ahead and roll it.
Ooh. Okay, 1 success.
Okay. So this is something where you actually might... Oh my goodness, that's 4 successes.
Wow, they blew it. Okay.
So what happens is Peedee is entering, and this tower has like a grand entryway. And it actually makes it through the entryway fine. There's like a long, lazy staircase that winds up this, like the center of the tower, as well as a couple of hallways that lead down various wings. Peedee's coming in here to try and find Murdi, right?
Yes.
So Peedee knows enough about city structure. She's probably up high right now. She's probably like, her quarters are probably up high. And as you are getting close, there is a servant wearing a cerulean kurta, and then some nice like white pants, who touches you on the shoulders and says, "She's allergic to flowers, my friend."
Oh. Okay. Quick glance around. I'm in a hallway.
Yeah.
Are there windows or doors?
There are some doors, but there's not a window. This is an interior hallway.
Interior hallway. Okay.
This guy has like nice kind of like coiffed, dark, thick hair and like a little thin mustache.
Oh, yeah, no. You know what? I'm new here. I was, one of the slaves brought in. Is it all the flowers or is it just some of them?
It's all of them. You're a slave. Who in their right mind is going to let a slave come up here carrying flowers? You should be out there tilling dirt.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. So Peedee's gonna back in and like open one of the doors and shut it.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna look around real quick and see if there's anything I can push in front, like a chair or something that I can like stop the door with.
Absolutely, there's a chair you can throw in there.
Okay.
And you hear him say, "I've half a mind to call security and have you whipped. Get out here immediately.
Okay.
Come on out now.
Peedee,
Surely if you keep hiding yourself, you're just digging yourself a deeper grave."
is there a window in this room?
Yes.
Okay. How close am I to the top?
You're pretty close. You're up high.
Okay. Peedee runs out the window, throws back his hood and looks out.
Mm-hmm.
Can I see a window directly above me that I could possibly jump to at the sill?
That's too cool for me to say no. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So Peedee takes out his rope again, pulls off of his purple linen, throws it down outside the window, and as it's trailing down, he throws up the hook and leaps up to try to grab onto the ledge of the window.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to say you just do that.
Cool.
And you climb into an important room. What room are you in?
I'm going to say it's a closet.
Okay.
So there's probably nobody in there right now.
So yeah, this is kind of a high-low window that's just big enough for you to kind of worm your way through.
Yeah. And then as Peedee drops down the distance to the ground from the top of that window, he's surrounded by like lots of lavish like robes and like scarves and saris and the type of thing.
Yeah, it smells like sandalwood.
Definitely. Probably an exceptionally luscious carpet, a rug down there that kind of is tempting to take off your shoes.
Oh, yeah.
Just to feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to, at this point, if I spend emote from my peripheral, what happens?
Nothing is going. If you spend 5 or more, your cast mark is going to start to glitter.
Okay.
But if you spend it in increments less than 5, you're fine.
Perfect.
You can also use your anima power to keep
hide
it
it
from flaring. Yeah,
But that costs 2, right?
that costs a number of motes. If you want to use it, we'll go ahead and double check the rule.
Okay. I should be good. This one only costs 3, and that is my unsurpassed hearing and touch skills, which allows me to do a number of things that would require impossibly good hearing and touch skills.
Okay.
So, that being said, one of the things that it enables Peedee to do is to hear sounds through walls by feeling the vibration. So Peedee will walk up to the door, and I'm assuming it's a pretty thick, like very nice, like patterned wood.
It is ornately carved wood imported all the way from Halta.
Oh, geez. Yeah, and he'll admiringly place his hand on there and kind of see if he can hear anything in the room or feel anything, I guess, would be the actual.
Okay, so the first thing you can sense is the drumming of fingers and the tapping of feet. What's taking them so long? It normally doesn't take this long. I need him to get here. I'm running low on my supply.
More than one person or just one?
So at first you hear the one, and then you hear another voice. Mistress, I apologize. I wish I could expedite their work, but the townsfolk may be growing savvy. They're growing accustomed to their tactics. It's taking them longer to hunt them down, to collect them. I didn't make this arrangement so that it would grow easy over time. I made this because I need it, okay? Can we just get things on? You know the terms of the arrangement. We can't simply go down and demand it until they've collected their tribute. Okay, so that's what you hear.
Okay. So I hear two.
And that voice, that second voice, clearly the guy who stopped you in the hallway.
Oh, great. Okay. Do they sound very close, or can I get a sort of feel for how big the room is on the other side?
Based on the fact that it lets you do impossible things, I'm going to say, yeah, you get a pretty good sense. Like, there's a large desk in this room that you can kind of hear that she's tapping on.
Yeah.
That's maybe 5 meters away.
Okay.
And this person is on the other end of it. So that's a pretty big room.
Okay. Based on, so I climbed up through the window. I'm in the closet. I have an idea of where that hallway runs.
Mm-hmm.
Am I closer to the door, or am I closer to the back side of the room?
You're closer to the back side of the room.
Okay. Okay. So at this point, Peedee pulls out his hair, throws back his cloak, takes a deep breath, swings the door open. What does he see?
Okay, so this is a large room where there's a very nice desk at which this woman with brilliant red hair is tied back in an elegant knot. She is wearing this purple and gold flowing robe, and there's that man sitting next to her in his cerulean kurta. There's a rug that's even nicer than the one that is in the closet.
Okay.
Laid across this room, showing a party of southern people hunting a tiger.
Okay. Okay.
There's a number of paintings and weavings put up across the room, tapestry type weavings laid out across the room. This looks like a work and meeting space, but there's also a couple of plants in the corners and a small table at which tea could be served.
It's not like a throne room.
Not exactly.
Kind of like
no.
a conference room.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Is the door open?
The door is not open, and sitting on the desk next to her, you can see a pipe. There's a pipe next to her that she when she's not tapping, her fingers are stroking and fiddling with the pipe.
Okay. Does it smell like... Okay.
Do you still have the sensory acuity prana active?
I do. Oh, no, sorry. That's only a scene.
Okay, yeah, we've changed scenes.
Yes. Okay. And what was her name again?
Her name is Delicate Murti.
Okay. Yes. And I know that.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So as Peedee opens the door and slams it open against the wall.
Right. They both rise from their chairs with a start. It's you!
Yes. So Peedee will just calmly, after the very startling entry, will kind of just erect himself slowly and walk over. Are they both sitting behind the desk?
They were sitting on opposite sides, and now they're both kind of standing up, like they're halfway.
Okay. So I'm assuming the servant guy has his back to me.
No, they're both turned towards you.
They're both
opened and slammed it.
Okay.
They both
but he's on the side of the table towards
Yes,
me.
he's on the side of the table toward you.
Okay. So I'll just walk slowly over to them and kind of stand within conversational distance.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So obviously I'm not a slave. Delicate Morty, and Peedee does sort of a nice bow,
mm-hmm.
a respectful bow, but not lavish, overindulging. So I've heard some things about you, and it seems like there's some slaving going on out here, and you're involved. Why don't you give me the story before I, get upset and start doing things about it,
Who are you? Why is this any of your business?
That's really not important right now. I just want to know the story. And Peedee kind of moves his head to the side so that the hilt of his sword is showing, but not in an intimidating way, kind of in a there's a sword here kind of a way.
Okay, and she actually takes a small step back, and there is sitting on the other side of her chair an ornately carved straight sword with an ivory handle.
Okay. It's laying on the chair.
Yeah, it's resting against the chair, and she kind of motions to that and is like, "This is my town. It is my domain. The arrangements that I make with purveyors of good are my own."
And does she actually reach for the sword?
Not yet,
or
no.
just motion towards it?
Just motions towards it.
And what's this servant doing?
He is slowly trying to inch his way towards the door to call, maybe to call for guards.
Okay. Peedee slowly inches his way kind of to cut him off.
Mm-hmm.
But still trying not to be overt,
Mm-hmm.
Yes, look, I understand that this is your town. However, I have had some things happen in my life to where I feel like it is my responsibility to make sure that nobody is being taken advantage of too much. And I see some people out here that seem to be taken advantage of. And unless you've got a really good reason why, I think I would like to put a stop to that.
So yeah, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and call for an instill action. You're going to need to instill here an intimacy.
Okay, right.
So what kind of intimacy are you trying to instill here with this show that you've made? Yeah.
With her?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're trying to either make her feel something about you or believe something about the situation.
Okay, at this point, I basically want her to see that I have good intentions at heart,
mm-hmm.
And that I'm I feel a sense of connection to the people that are being enslaved and taken advantage of, and that I am overall on their side. So I suppose sympathy maybe.
Okay, so it would be you're a minor tie of sympathy to Peedee.
Yeah. Yes.
Awesome. So you are going to try and beat her I'm going to say that's a socialize
Okay.
plus charisma or appearance.
Okay. I'm going to say that I'm going to go with appearance.
Okay.
And as he's saying these things, Peedee kind of like really like kind of drops his guard and and shows some vulnerability and pure intent and kind of relaxes and drops his guard a little bit.
Okay. And do you have socialize favored?
I do.
If you would like, you can spend excellency dice to improve this.
I think that would be wise.
Remember, because right now I think you're spending all out of your peripheral pool.
I have 2 in my personal.
Okay.
So, I can only raise it by what I have base dice.
Yes, your
pool, right?
attribute plus ability.
So 4 would be the max I could raise it. I think
Correct.
I will double that.
Cool. And you get 2 dice for your stunt.
Good. Okay. And I can spend all 4 of these from my peripheral without glowing.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So 4.
Okay, I don't remember the specific rules right now, but I'm going to say that if you meet her composure or her resolve, it's like a defense. I think it is.
Okay.
If you meet it, you succeed.
Okay. Cool.
So, I can tell that you mean well. I want you to understand that I mean well myself. I'm not doing this out of some sense of cruelty. I'm doing it out of necessity.
What exactly is the necessity?
We require goods. I require goods, and this town requires goods. We've got some supply shortages recently. We don't have clay. We don't have adequate grain. And there's some things that I need personally. And the only way that the guild will do business with us is in exchange for the occasional group of slaves.
And you guys can't, like, trade with other towns or anything?
Sure, we can trade with other towns, but their tariffs are so high, and they might not have everything we need. This is a regional shortage of clay. This
Gotcha.
town, Barajpuat, is a pottery town. We are known for Barajaputi pottery.
Gotcha.
It is our soul, it is our essence, and now we cannot produce it?
I see. And so you've always gone through the guild, I'm assuming, once you guys ran out of clay?
Yes, this is a recent development. At its current rate, this is unsustainable. Once a season? 106? That's too many people. This town isn't that large. We've only had 3 visits.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I'm feeling the need to renegotiate because if this keeps up, there simply won't be enough of us left. We can't repopulate this fast. And she, like, rubs her temples and reaches for her pipe. And, like, she's like, damn, there's none left.
Medicine?
Of a sort.
Okay. Look, if I take care of the guild, you guys wouldn't exactly be in a good situation anymore, would you?
No, they give us what we need to survive.
Okay.
We need the guild.
There's no other source of these things that you need besides the guild?
I suppose that if there was some way to circumvent the high tariffs from the port of Gahat, we might be able to.
Okay.
They can get things from all along the Dreaming Sea.
Right.
I'm sure
It's
they've
just
got plenty
Texas.
of clay.
Okay. And you're just kind of stuck in this agreement right now, then?
Yes. Kadam is a fierce dog.
Oh, I'll give you that. Okay. And this medicine... Go ahead.
We had only bartered for 100 slaves. He squeezed the extra 6 out of me.
Oh. That guy is going to pay. This medicine you have, is there other ways for you to get it? Or, is it pretty guild exclusive?
The best of it comes from Great Forks. And only the guild can travel from the Great Forks to the Dreaming Sea.
You betcha. Look, I'm going to go have a chat. You know what? Now that I think about it, do you have any leverage over the guild? Or Kadam specifically?
She leans back.
Perhaps they stay here for certain things? Is this a kind of a hub for them, or?
They pass through occasionally. I'll tell you what. I believe that Kadam is personally responsible for the death of someone I cared very much about. The reason that I need this medicine. And she picks up the pipe, and you can smell as she moves it. It smells very heavily of opium.
Would you be willing to come with me to negotiate with Kadam?
So, I am gonna call that a persuade action.
Okay.
So, same basic roll that you just made.
Okay.
Go ahead, give me your description for how you want to flavor that.
Yeah, so at this point, he's pretty much going to go, the opposite of before, and, as he says, persuade and negotiate, kind of, insinuates that he's going to do so maybe a little violently, and, so kind of, puffs out his chest and tries to look as intimidating and really give the idea that he's not somebody to be messed with.
So as it starts to get a little bit later in the day, the light from the window above you is glinting along your golden hair as you stand trying to rally her to your side.
I can activate my anima, correct? At will?
Yeah, you have to spend motes to do it.
So I'm going to do that.
Awesome.
I'm going to knock out one of those motes for a little, purple glow on Peedee's forehead. And, how much of the, play do I have with that? Can I kind of let some of the anima stuff happen a little too?
Yeah.
So, maybe it gets a little cold in there, and the lights kind of dampen a little bit in the room. And maybe around the you could see people's breath and stuff, and it gets really kind of chilly as he says
I like it. Actually, for that last little bit of flavor, I'm going to go ahead and give you a 2-dot stun again.
Awesome.
And again, if you want to spend excellency, you can do that.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, I better. I'm going to do, I'll just do 2.
Okay.
Okay. So, 5.
Okay. I'm not going to lie. As you were counting up those things, I thought I only saw 3 successes. And for a second, I was completely crestfallen. I was like, no!
Oh, no, that would be bad.
And she stands up and she looks at the man. Penambulatory Rose. Get the guard together. We're going to be having a chat. Smash cut 2, you're back in the square.
Okay.
I'm going to say it's properly night now.
Okay, cool. Can I get any motes back?
Yeah. It took a minute to get the guards together. So I'm going to say you can have regained 10 motes. It probably took about 2 hours total.
Totally awesome. Okay. Do they have to go into personal and peripheral, or I can't remember how that went.
For some reason, I instinctually feel like it's supposed to fill in your peripheral first
I
and
was
then
going
go
to say
personal.
that too.
But I'm going to let you fill it however you want right now.
Okay, cool. I think you're right, though.
It's not worth the, like...
Yeah. Okay.
Well, look who's back. And this now you can see all of the people have been gathered in cages. Shops are open. You looking for any goods?
So the scene then, the bazaar, we're in the bazaar, it's open.
Yeah.
And there's cages of...
Yeah, there's cages of people hooked up to these Yedem-pulled caravans. And in the middle of this thing, like, a lot of these slavers have kind of gathered around and are, like, leaning up around different stalls and stuff. Some of them are, like, literally just grabbing fruit and, like, eating it. Gervis is kind of prowling slowly behind Kadam.
Okay.
As, like, the firelight from the torches that light the bazaar flicker across his brutish skin.
Okay. And can we say that we had arranged to have the guard kind of, like, close off the entrances so that there's no way. Okay. So Peedee shoots Kadam a glare really quick, reaches up to his cloak, unhitches the clasp, and it falls. And at this point, he instantly jumps and lunges over to the nearest slaver, pulling out both of his weapons and slicing across to try to behead him.
Okay, so are you right now immediately initiating, like, a proper combat, or are you doing that for flavor?
He is legitimately trying to attack this person, so...
Okay, then we're going to go ahead
and... proper combat, yeah.
Roll join combat.
Okay, and at this point, I'm going to spend a willpower and 5 motes
Okay.
out of peripheral, and activate Awakening Eye Piranha, which gives me a free full excellency on my join battle, and for every 10, I reroll a non-success, and for every success that I have overturned, it gives me an auto success on a roll to detect hidden enemies.
Okay, so if you give up successes,
right?
Okay,
right. So
a full excellency on your join battle, so double up your join battle roll. How many motes does that cost?
5 and a willpower.
Okay, so it's costly,
it's
but
pricey,
it's
but
worth
it's awesome, it. Yeah.
For every 10 you get a reroll a non-success?
Yeah, and it's got a lot of good things.
That's pretty BA.
I like it. Okay, so there's 8, and... Alright. Yeah.
So
okay.
You can reroll 2 of them.
Ooh, nice.
That's a 6, isn't
that's
it?
a 6, you're right.
Dang.
Okay, no worries.
I am going to go ahead and say, don't worry about overturning successes.
Yeah. Okay.
So how many initiative is that Peedee starting with?
So that's 5 plus my 3, right? So that's 8. Or no, these are 2, right?
Yeah.
So 2, 4, 7 plus 3.
10?
So
That's
10.
a pretty strong start.
That's not bad.
That's really solid. Okay, so the slavers are going to roll.
Are they going to be a battle group?
Yes.
Okay.
So are the guards. So the slavers grab up all of their spears and their swords. A number of them like spit on the ground or like throw their fruit to the sides and crack their knuckles, kind of rolling their shoulders as they step forward from like the darkness into the light. So they've got 5 initiative to start with. And now the guard is going to go. They come in from the corners and start like blocking off the exits, as well as like kind of shoring up around the sides of Mordi. And they have 6.
Nice.
Peedee is still the unchallenged king of this initiative roll.
I haven't used that charm yet, but I really like that.
I think that it's real cool.
That gives you like a huge, jump
it gives
in
you
the
a
beginning.
huge leg up.
And that wasn't like a particularly successful roll, I didn't think either.
No, it wasn't. All right, so Murdi goes, and I think she might have edged out Peedee.
Wow.
Yeah, that is 6, 7, 8. So she gets 11.
That's impressive.
Now it's time for Kadam, who doesn't have nearly so many dice. Being the sluggish old man that he is.
Yeah, she had a pretty good dice pool.
Yeah. The best a mortal can get. He's at 5. He's slow as molasses. And Gervis has an even worse roll. So let's see how Gervis comes out on this one. Well. Incredibly well. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
He only had one non-success. That's insane.
Oh my god. So he's at 9. This top of the initiative order is pretty stacked up here.
Wow. There's a huge gap between... Okay.
Yeah, Gervis, like, bellows and immediately charges out from behind Kadam as you slice this man's neck open and his blood begins to pool on the ground. You can see that, like, the smell of blood fills Gervis's nostrils and he starts, like, howling.
Oh.
Okay. So Murdi is actually going to reach into her, like, into the folds of her robe and pull out a piece of paper. And she just says, Kadam, the terms of this contract are null and void. Your reign of terror of this village has ended. We will resume business with the guild, but only on the proper terms. And that's actually her action for this round.
Okay. Well...
Also, she draws her sword, like her ivory-hilted blade.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say that as there is a giant bloodthirsty ape charging at him, that will be Peedee's first.
Yeah, get Gervis.
Gervis. Cool. So, as the ape runs at him, I guess I'm just going to do a good old classic excellent strike to boost this.
Awesome. Okay.
And so, a withering attack.
Yes.
It's going to be strength.
It's dexterity.
It's dexterity.
The 16 dice.
Oh, that's right. I forget to have it written down there, and I always end up calculating it out.
So go ahead and describe to me Peedee's move here.
Okay. And I get an auto success. So when I get an auto success, is that out of one of these, or is that an additional
It's
to
an
the roll?
additional, in addition to the roll.
Okay, cool.
And again, you can spend excellency motes, but you don't have to.
Okay, yeah.
I think you should be okay.
Yeah. So as the ape is charging towards Peedee, what's his name?
Gervis.
Gervis. As Gervis charges at Peedee, he's going to wait till the very last minute, and then as soon as the ape is about to like bite into his face, he's going to step to the side and do it with a spin, and then as he spins around, and there's still his cloak or his hair, and like he was right there, and then he spins and he's gone, and comes down behind with both of his weapons to slice at the back of Gervis as he passes through.
Awesome. That's really cool. Roll 2 dice. Looks like you only rolled 2 ones to reroll.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. 12.
You beat his value by 8.
Oh, man. Yikes.
So you leap in. You slash him square across the back, like cutting beneath his thick, padded, calloused skin. So roll your damage +1 because you actually overcame his soak value. So 15 dice.
Oh, man.
Not gonna lie, I'm really, really hoping that you manage out of these 15 dice to pull out 9 successes.
And then, so with that extra one, does that come? Is that a rollover?
That's because you overcame his defense by 8.
Okay.
And so normally you would add 8 to that, and then subtract his soak value. But his soak value is 7, so you I shortcut the math.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
And remember, you do double 10s because it's a withering attack.
Right. Okay, so that is 2, 4, 6.
So not quite, but that's pretty good.
Not bad.
So Gervis yowls in pain and thumps at the ground as his blood begins, a little bit of his blood trickles down. And he actually, turns around and begins, kind of a counterattack. He tries to counterattack, but you have him so on the offensive that his claws are just barely managing to block the rest of your blades out of the way.
Okay,
You
nice.
rocket up to 17 initiative, and he drops to 3.
Oh, man.
Now the guards are charging in against the slavers, and they hack and slash at each other, and they're more or less pretty equally matched, but they've got each other kind of tangled up.
Okay.
The camera shifts away as you are slashing around at Gervis to, in the shadows of these torches, guards and slavers pressing spears against each other and clashing their swords against one another, banging shields.
Going off in the background.
Right.
Ambient noise.
Exactly. So Kadam pulls out his short, thick sword and waves it around in the light and says, "You're gonna pay for this, you know? You old fool. I think it's time I finally silenced your disgusting little mouth." And he just tries to, he dives in with you with speed that seems unnatural given his hefty frame, and dives at you with a couple of, deft jabs. Bringing him to a crazy pool of 11 dice because I'm giving him stunt dice.
Wow.
So how do you defend him? Just describe how you defend against this oncoming attack.
So he's probably coming from behind, and I'm exchanging blows with Gervis. So as Kadam runs in, with one hand, I'll be fighting off Gervis, and then right before Kadam gets right behind me, Peedee will take his the smaller of his two blades and spin around with his left hand to try to deflect it out of the way.
Excellent. Okay, so yeah, that'll raise your defense value by 1.
Okay, so that would be
Parry. So he's trying to beat 7.
Okay.
With 11 dice. Not likely.
I don't know, after that Gervis roll.
Gervis knocked it out of the park, as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, 4 successes. So yeah.
Okay.
You see his wrist go limp as you drive his sword out of the way, and he stumbles back almost into the caravan and then turns around and shines it back at you.
Okay.
Gervis, finish the job. So that's the end of Kadam's turn, and now it's Gervis's turn. And Gervis actually rears up. Oh, also you do have 1 onslaught.
Oh, I do, yes.
Gervis rears up from his from the assault, takes his bloody claws and starts beating his chest rapidly, thump, 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 and then his giant, disgusting yellowed teeth open as he spreads his jaw, and he lets out a hellish shriek that echoes out across the marketplace, shattering crates and actually physically damaging people.
Oh.
He's using his shattering roar power, and he's going to roll those 9 dice against Murti.
Okay. Do you stunt defense against that by covering your ears?
Yeah, you could stunt it in any sort of way, but he's attacking Murti, so... So yeah, this stuff goes flying, and she cannot, keep all the detritus out of the way. Her body is racked, and blood starts to come out of her ears. Oh, thank God. She's got 10 soak, so she's in okay.
Oh, man, okay. Sometimes I think I need to get some better armor.
Uh-oh. Alright, so she's knocked back. She stumbles. Her ivory sword and the scroll in the case are still tightly clutched in her hand as she reels back. So she just took 6 initiative damage. And Gervis gains 7 initiative. And we come back to the top of the round, and everybody regains 5 motes.
Nice.
And Peedee has the initiative.
Okay. What's Gervis at in initiative?
Gervis is at 10.
Okay. I'm at 17.
Yeah, so if you think about a decisive attack, his initiative doesn't factor into it. It's just your ability to overcome his defenses.
Oh.
And then you roll your initiative as damage against him.
Oh, okay. I think that Well, I guess 17's a pretty big dice pool.
Yeah.
I think I'll do that.
Cool. Do you have any charms you're going to use? Anything that helps your decisive damage? I think Fire and Stone Strike.
Yeah. Peedee sees that Gervis is kind of trying to rally a comeback here, and senses that it's time to try to put that to an end before it gets too out of hand.
Mm-hmm.
So, he sheaths the smaller of his two blades, and then grabs his short sword with both hands.
Mm-hmm.
Raises it up above his head,
mm-hmm.
and just comes and brings it arcing down in like a log splitting kind of hack.
Mm-hmm.
And it just lights up as it comes flying down, activating his Fire and Stone Strike, which will allow me to spend 3 of my essence before my attack to transfer equal number of successes to a raw damage.
Nice. Are you going to use any other charms?
No, that will be it.
Awesome. So remember, you're rolling those 11 dice for your decisive damage.
Okay, to hit?
Yes, that is your to hit. So that if that changes things in terms of essence you want to spend.
Oh, right. Okay. Because the 17's for damage.
Correct.
Okay.
And if you get 3 rollover successes, you're going to be rolling 20 dice.
Right. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna, I think I'll just use an excellency on it. I think I'll add 4.
Cool.
Make that an even 15.
Okay, so go ahead and roll those 15 dice plus your 2 stunt dice.
Okay. I think that was everything.
7?
Yep.
Awesome. So you cleave into him. You bring your sword down. It cleaves into his skull, and sparks begin to erupt as your sword cleaves against his living bone.
Ooh.
So go ahead and roll 20 dice for damage.
Oh, really? That much?
Because you roll your initiative, which was 17, and then you got those 3 rollover successes from Fire and
nice.
Stones.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
You're about to wreck his face. No double 10s here, though. So yeah, no, this is a good situation.
I forgot I played Fire and Stones. That is really, really cool here. So 5, 10, 20. Okay.
So you drive your sword, you split his brain case open, and as like the blood begins to erupt and pour out, his body begins to like decompose and fade into these little motes of ember-like essence that fade up and mix in with the sparks of the clashing swords.
Unnatural.
He's gone. He's done.
He's some dang motes now. So at this point, Kadam?
Yes.
Peedee turns to Kadam. And gives him the stank eye and says, look, Kadam, this is it. This is over for you. Now you're playing by our rules.
No, look. I know a good deal when I see one. And, me dying here tonight, no good. Whatever you need, whatever you want, I'll take it.
Okay, so, what was her name? The princess,
Morty.
Delicate
Yes. Morty.
Delicate Morty. So, I think Peedee's gonna kind of leave that up to them to kind of, that's more there.
To make that arrangement?
To make that arrangement, I think he'll oversee it.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, though, he'll walk over, take the sword out of Kadam's hand, kind of like toss it over to the side, take the keys off of his belt, and go over and unlock all of the slaves and like let them all out one by one. I'm assuming that the guards and the slavers have kind of...
Yeah, that fight's over. They got called off.
Okay.
The guildsmen are being kind of like corralled back towards the caravan. The slaves are like pouring out, thanking you, crying.
Yeah, so I'll go over to Morty and see how she's doing.
Okay, so they are they're like negotiating, and she's like, "You're going to come and you're going to trade with us, and you're not going to demand us slaves. You're going to provide us reasonable rates without extortion. There's no reason for this kind of madness." And she's actually still got her, like, she's got her sword out and, like, stuck in the ground. Okay. So, like, she could reach for it any second. He's like, all right, look. Whatever you want, just don't kill me. Just leave that lunatic away from me. Look, I'll even sweeten the deal. And he pops out his bronze dentures. You can take these. I promise, look. No more funny business.
Okay, so Peedee's, watching, and, I'll be watching, and I'll be in contact with Morty here, and if I ever hear anything weird going on, you can guarantee I'll be back here. So, I think that your privilege and the guild's privilege is being able to do trade at all with this town, and I don't think they owe you anything else. So,
yeah, you got it. And he's like kind of like shaking, like his eyes are like wide, and he signs this new contract.
Cool.
And as he does that, Morty picks up her sword, swings it, and places it towards the edge of his belly. And she looks at you and says, "He killed the one thing that I care about. He killed ardent genuflection." And she looks at you almost like she's asking for permission.
Ooh. Wow.
He got me addicted to opium to soothe the pain.
Oh, man.
He took my people from me. He left me no choice.
Yeah, I can't say that I could tell you not to do it, but let me at least say that if you do that, there's no guarantee that your city will live on with good standings in the guild. So the choice is ultimately yours, but that is my 2 cents of reason.
So you see, like, the sword begin to, like, shake against Kadam's prominent stomach, like ripples moving through his shirt, and you see her, like, lean against it for a brief second before dropping it to the floor and collapsing to her knees, weeping.
Well,
so I think it's time to enter the closing montage.
Okay.
There are these bright lanterns burning around the edge of the bazaar as Kadam goes toothless and sits behind his Yedem and, like, cracks the whip. Murti is standing there, like, kneeling in the center of the square next to her sword as the villagers begin to pour back in and the slaves go back to their homes. What does Peedee do?
Well, he'll probably clean off his sword and put it away. Look around, take a deep breath. Probably eyes Kadam for a minute as Kadam, leaves, and he makes one last meaningful eye contact exchange with Kadam, in sort of a like, just to kind of confirm that yes, this is the way this deal is going to be, and then he'll walk over to Morby, and just kind of quietly walk up beside her and stand next to her. Maybe place his hand on her shoulder. Yeah, he'll probably just hang there silently while the rest of them, while the caravan kind of proceeds out and the slaves go. I'm going to say he probably hangs around in town for a few weeks at least.
Okay, before we jump to what he did while he was hanging around in town,
Okay.
as the slaves are finishing out, like, finding their people, you see an 8-year-old boy run off into the corner and leap into the tear-stained eyes of Chechik, who, like, swings his boy around and holds him close, and you can see his body, like, visibly shaking.
That was was it the same boy that was in there when I went in before? That's comforting.
Okay.
Peedee smiles at him and gives him a thumbs up, for sure.
Okay, but several weeks pass.
Yeah, and I think Peedee will hang out for a while. Maybe talk with Morty a little bit about kicking that addiction. Maybe. Definitely drop in and see the family again. See what he can do about getting them some clay supplies and maybe help them out a little with their business. But, I don't think I'll hang too long. After a while, it's time to move on again.
Okay. Yeah, after several weeks, the village seems to have reconstituted itself stronger under a revitalized leader as the sun begins to set, and into the dusk walks Peedee. End of Breath of Peircing Dusk's Prelude. Thank you so much for joining and listening to the Party Prelude project this week. This wraps up all of the preludes that are going to be coming out for the next little while. So I hope that you've enjoyed them. As always, I am happy to hear any feedback or input that you might have as to how I might improve the game. Any rules misadjudications I might have had, anything, I am an open door, so go ahead and let me know. I look forward to hearing any feedback you might have. Before I send you off, I want to remind you that our theme music is Adventure Darling by Gillicuddy, and I hope you have a lovely day.